Most police officers work hard to keep us safe, but as these dashcam videos show, there are still some situations that even law enforcement are not ready to handle. Number 13. When a quick-thinking officer responds to a call of a burning vehicle in Glen Heights, Texas, he knows exactly what to do. The car is in danger of catching the nearby restaurant on fire, so he pulls up and takes care of the situation fast and efficiently. The brave officer takes his life into his own hands and bumps the car into the parking lot, away from the building. The vehicle could have exploded at any time with enough force to cover him in flames and piping hot debris. Number 12. Dashcam footage from Gautier shows this police officer getting the surprise of a lifetime. Giant clouds are brewing overhead when all of a sudden a fiery streak of lightning strikes less than a quarter mile away without warning. The bolt is so bright that the police officer nearly goes blind. He pulls off the road and locates the site of the blast, where he discovers a smoldering chunk of cement that's still smoking. My question is, what caused the lightning bolt to literally catch fire like that? I've seen lightning strikes in other dashcam videos and they never involved fire. Apparently it didn't hit a power generator or a power line, so if you can explain this visual phenomenon, then please let me know. Number 11. A South Wales police helicopter is flying 1,000 feet above the Bristol Channel when its thermal camera detects a perfectly round sphere in the distance. The pilot quickly radios in the visual disturbance to ground control, but they can't seem to find anything matching the description on their radar equipment. That's when the pilot realizes he can't actually see the sphere with his own eyes. Only the thermal camera can. Maybe this was a camera malfunction, or maybe this circular object has some sort of advanced cloaking properties. Either way, there's been no suitable explanation for this perplexing sighting. And here's the weirdest part: when the pilot zooms in for a closer look, the sphere opens up into what could very well be some sort of free-roaming vortex. If this really is a portal, then who knows what's on the other side. Number 10. A deputy in Pinellas County, Florida is sitting in the median checking for speeders when suddenly an aircraft passes by way too close overhead. You can tell from how the plane unsteadily wobbles that the pilot has completely lost control. A second deputy's dashcam catches another angle of the plane's descent as it falls towards the ground. The two officers race over to the scene and find a path of fallen trees and twisted metal strewn in the road. They block off the road and call emergency medical services. As it turns out, this was the personal aircraft of a Major League Baseball player named Roy Halladay. An autopsy revealed multiple intoxicants in the athlete's system while operating the plane. Number 9. It's a scorching hot summer day in Los Angeles when police stop a suspicious man for questioning. He quickly gives the officer a name and a good reason for being out here by himself.
You live around here, boy? No. Where you live at?
Down the road by Pineville.
Pineville?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you have any form of identification on you?
No, man.
What's your name?
Robert Jones.
Robert Jones?
Uh-huh.
Right now, what's your address?
I don't have an address. I'm at the hotel. We're working on houses and stuff like that, the roofing.
Robert Smith says that he is working for his brother's roofing company and staying with him at a hotel. He jogs 12 miles a day no matter what, which is why he's out here in 113-degree weather. There's just one problem.
What it is, we got an escapee.
Oh. Where from?
Prison.
The suspicious officer radios dispatch and tries to match Robert Smith's features with those of the escaped prisoner. He compares eye colors, tattoos, facial hair and other personal identifiers.
You know the bad thing about it?
What's that?
You're matching up to him.
Come on. Well, that sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Despite all of these matches, the officer completely buys his roofing story and decides to let him go.
I promise you, I'm not no serious an escapee.
You'd have done run by now. You know that yourself. You'd have done run by now.
No.
Later the officer would discover that Robert Smith is actually Richard Lee McNair, the escaped convict he was looking for. The man has escaped from prison 2 other times. One time he actually escaped by mailing himself out in a box. Richard has since been caught and is serving a life sentence for taking another man's life with a firearm. On that day, however, he was simply the convict who got away. Number 8. A police officer in Hamilton Township, New Jersey is doing neighborhood patrols when a bright white light suddenly streaks across the sky. This aerial fireball was noticed by hundreds of other locals as well. It could just be me, but I feel like there's been an increase in meteorite sightings over the past few months. What exactly this could mean, if anything, I'll leave up to you to decide. Number 7. This police dashcam was taken in a quiet neighborhood in South Jersey. Officers and gas line workers were trying hard to find a reported gas leak somewhere in the area, but sadly they were not able to find it in time to prevent this from happening. 15 people were caught in the blast. Most frightening of all, this ordinary neighborhood seems no different than anywhere else. Which means none of us are totally safe. Number 6. A police officer named Adam Brunswick is the only officer patrolling Spooner, Wisconsin when he makes this startling discovery. A child in a yellow shopping cart is speeding out of the Dollar General store parking lot and heading directly into traffic. Officer Brunswick knows that there is no safe way to stop the cart before it reaches the road, so he puts on his emergency lights and parks in the middle of the busy highway to stop traffic. He then bravely rushes out of his car and grabs the child before any harm is done. As the mother would later explain, she was loading another child in the car when her shopping cart had slipped away on its own with her infant child inside.
She was just hysterical.
It's not often that officer.
She's in tears and unable to properly thank the officer for saving her child's life. Number 5. A New Jersey police officer is making a routine traffic stop late at night on a poorly lit road. He starts to head back towards his car to run the license, but then he spots something out of the corner of his eye and demonstrates some impressive reflexes. The officer skillfully rolls away from a moving car just in time to avoid being flattened. I'm really surprised the officer was able to react so quickly with a belt full of heavy equipment, but then again, his adrenaline probably kicked in before he even fully knew what was going on. Props to this officer for having such a fast reaction time. Hopefully the city puts some streetlights up soon for better visibility in the future. Number 4. A police officer in Newcastle, Oklahoma is patrolling the highway one afternoon when he feels a change in the atmosphere. Everything feels still and way too calm. There's not a single bird singing or even a hint of breeze. As the swirling skies begin to darken overhead and the rain starts to pour, the officer realizes that a tornado is forming. He's much too close to escape. There's not much he can do now except for park and pray.
If you need me to. Affirmative, we got debris, appears to be country club, and Highway 37, lots of debris, got power flashes.
He's eventually forced to drive in reverse when the tornado comes towards him and swallows a building hole just to his right. Reports of downed power lines and flying debris flood his radio as the tornado blasts through the town. All this brave officer can do is follow in the wake of the tornado and assist survivors however he can. By the time the treacherous weather passed, dozens of lives had been lost. Number 3. This dashcam footage reveals a somber conversation between a police officer and a man who has made a serious mistake that can never be taken back.
I hate to tell you, but I checked you going 116 the other way, and I turned around and I was trying to catch you. That's going to weigh on me that I didn't catch you before it happened.
Wait, man, I killed somebody.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, this impaired driver in Canadian County, Oklahoma took the lives of 2 innocent drivers while going well over 100 miles per hour. Craig Maker has been charged with 2 serious felonies that could very well place him in prison for life. Records indicate that this is his 5th DUI arrest. He has not been sentenced yet and clearly shows remorse in this video. After seeing this video, let me know how long you would give him behind bars if you were the judge. Number 2. In December of 2017, just a week before Christmas, this man was busy impersonating a police officer and pulling over numerous innocent citizens. He had fake lights on his car and even had a dashcam to record himself while on this massive ego trip. The person on the hood has no idea that they are being stopped, searched and handcuffed by a man with absolutely no affiliation with law enforcement. Once his hands are behind his back, this poor innocent person is at the complete mercy of a stranger.
Copy, I'll look at it, thanks. 1629.
Police in Tucson, Arizona have never revealed what happened to the man next, but he appears to be led into the back of the impersonator's vehicle with his hands cuffed. I can only imagine what sort of terrible activities happened from there, and I hope he made it out okay. Before we get to number 1, I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have questions or suggestions. If you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe button because I upload a new video every day. Number 1. Police in Louisville, Kentucky are conducting a late-night stop for a traffic violation at 3:30 a.m. Everything seems relatively normal until they hear a muffled scream coming from the trunk. Arms drawn, they pop the trunk only to find a bound man inside. Police questioned the man and learned more about his story. Sean Bloomer was working the night shift at a Circle K gas station when 4 crazed maniacs jumped him at random. They roughed him up badly and then stuffed him in the trunk of his own car. By the time police had pulled them over, Sean had been in the trunk for 4 hours and was passing in and out of consciousness. I shudder to think how easily this could have happened to any one of us, and what they probably would have done with him that night had the cops not intervened. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every day. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.